So I saw a recent interview um, with Katie Sackhoff. This is why I never really liked saying her last name because of things like that. But she wound up having an interview with Bitsie, the woman that plays Lois or played Lois at this point. And one of the questions she was sitting there asking was, "Do you think that the reason why Superman and Lois is getting canceled is because of James Gunn, Warner Brothers, and them not wanting to have two Supermans pretty much competing against each other?" And the answer that she gave was a typical standard PR answer. And I don't knock her for that, right? Like she practically says, whether he did, Warner Brothers did, whether they was responsible for the show getting canceled or not, it is what it is. It's done, and we can't go back, so we must sit there and move forward. And I get that because one, she doesn't want to sit there and ruin any sort of opportunity she can sit there and have in the future, not just working with James Gunn, but also working with somebody who knows James Gunn. So I don't knock her for that. And part of me wants to follow that example of there's no point in Smith getting upset with James Gunn because there's so many other different factors, like she said. CW, Warner Brothers, whatever you want to sit there and call it, was going through a change. They got rid of so many different shows once they acquired Nexstar that it was like the show would have gotten canceled sooner or later. You know, it would have gotten canceled sooner or later. I mean, Arrowverse was practically just done. That was literally the last bit of the Arrowverse that was left. And yes, I understand it's not technically in the same universe, but for better or worse, it's still considered an Arrowverse show. That show is not going to last. So in reality, it's like, does it really sit there and make sense to be that upset about it? And I guess in general, it's like, it's a TV show, right? Like, I'm gonna be annoyed by it, but I'm not gonna sit there and lose any sleep over it. My thing is, if he did somehow have anything to do with the show getting canceled or anything like that, it would be kind of stupid, right? Like normal people, normal-minded people can enjoy two different versions of Superman and not get them confused. It's the average person that these studios always tend to worry about, you know? But the average person don't generally go out and spend that amount of money and time and everything like that and is super invested into these shows. So I never really understood why they always sit there and try to target, I guess, new money. When you're going to get most of your return on the existing people that have been watching, following the geek culture that actually does put in money into these type of projects. Ultimately, it is what it is. And one of the things she did sit there and say was they were already on an uphill battle. The budget has been slashed. The actors or whatever are far more spread out. They put a lot of people, like a lot of people that you would normally see, I guess, in this season moving forward are not going to be shown as much because like, when I sit there and say that they slashed the budget, they slashed the budget. But according to her, which I don't know if it's true or not, it doesn't affect the quality and the storytelling of the show. And I say that because she still has to promote the show. She still has to do a lot of PR and to not kind of like be upset with how the show is going to turn out. This whole thing sucks. This whole thing sucks. Um, but I guess maybe one of the good things about season 4 being done, and like that's the last of it, is that essentially I never have to sit there and watch the WB ever again. Warner Brothers CW. I never have to sit there and watch that network ever again. Um, it still always bothers me the decisions that they made, Because let's just put it this as a whole, and this isn't even just talking about Superman and Lois. This is just talking about the shows in general. Those shows was not the best shows. Like they weren't the best shows, but they were entertaining. And what's even more important is even if people felt them goofy and over the top and woke and everything like that, guess what? They were talking about them. They were making videos about them on YouTube and everything like that, like influence or whatever. We were talking about these shows. So they got a lot of free publicity, even if they were really bad, compared to no one talking about the CW, whatever shows that they got going on, which is what, golf and half hour comedies and stuff like that. Just like the cheapest ish you can possibly make on that network. No one is not there talking about it. You know, you even look at good shows like Supernatural, and it wasn't perfect. Yes, the brothers and story and everything like that was really great, but it still followed a lot of tropes that people didn't like. Monsters weak, really bad special effects, but they made up for it in good storytelling. So, although shows like The Flash and Supergirl and probably some other shows I could sit there and think of, and even Riverdale, which like don't even get me started on that. What they lacked in almost everything else, they made up for in entertainment, and they made up for it in word of mouth. And now Warner Brothers doesn't have that. Superman and I mean Superman and Lois are yeah, Superman and Lois. I always get that confused with Lois and Clark. Is the last remaining show on that network, and I wish the actors the best. Um, Hats off to Tyler because honestly, to tell you the truth, up into Henry, I never really felt like they were going to sit there and be able to replace him or have another Superman just as good. And you saw, yeah, even when he was on Supergirl, which not exactly the best quality, by the time he got to Superman Lois, the only thing that was missing was the special effects. And he made, in my opinion, a fantastic Superman. And it's unfortunate that you know, it is what it is, but I guess bottom line is that the show was going to end at some point sooner or later anyway. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to sit there and say about that. I know that I kind of did veer off. I'm going to have to sit there and probably change the title of whatever this is, but Superman and Lois is premiering next Monday. 2 hour premiere. Because, you know, I feel like the CW wants that show going as fast as possible to replace it, whatever garbage that they're going to sit there and replace it with. But I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. And, yeah. But as far as the CW's future is concerned, who knows? Maybe when they finally had enough of a loss as far as financial and views and stuff like that, I'm not just saying they're going to bring back the Arrowverse in full, but they're going to have to sit there and do something because right now, the only people that generally watch this, I guess, the CW is made for an older crowd. And they're not exactly the most reliable as far as viewers, but whatever. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video.